Welcome to Speed Scene Live TV, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, Hedman Hustler Headers, M&H Tires, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex Roggio, Bob Beck, Bryant Layton, with Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Speed Scene Live. I'm Alex the Car Girl Roggio. We've got Scott Lucky Hudson to my right.
Yeah.
We've got Hot Rod Bob Beck.
Oh my goodness, what happened to Bob?
What happened to Bob, indeed?
And of course, Bruce Barker on the controls.
Hey, how you doing? And good to see you back in the studio there, Alex.
It's great to be back. Thank you.
Nice. Hey, man, let's get some video going here, because I know that's going to be top of mind, because that's what this show is all about, is watching things go fast.
That's right, we've got some great video from the Irwindale track, and we will be talking about that later. But first, we will be talking to Doug Stokes from the Irwindale track, and we'll find out a little bit about it. And we've got Super Gas racer Jeff Lopez, and we've also got Mark Walters from J. Angel Productions.
And Great Bend, Kansas will have their inaugural NHRA Sunflower National Open on April 27th through the 28th, in addition to all the regular NHRA classes and bracket classes. They have stock, super stock, gambler on Saturday, and super class gambler on Saturday. Speed Scene Live will be at Great Bend this June, racing and filming the Speed Scene Live Nationals. 3 big days of racing and a chance to get your car on TV. We'll be there doing interviews, filming, and racing, and more. Now, Scotty Richardson will be at Speed Scene Live Nationals doing a class. Scotty knows how to win races, and he'll teach you how to do so. If you want more information, visit schooledbyscotty.com. He will be at the Cap Rock Motorplex in Penwell, Texas on May 10th through the 12th.
Don't forget the NMCA West race at Bakersfield this weekend. Come on out and see Lucky in the Curry Rear Ends and Hedman Headers booth in the manufacturer's Midway, and also see the Whole Shot wheels on the Nova and pick up some free Speed Scene Live stickers.
We've got the PRP Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton tonight. He will be talking to Nick Tonelli, one of the 1400 class racers. Hey, there's my hot rod right there.
There you go.
And we've also got Bob's Great American Auto Scene. Bob, what are you going to talk about tonight?
You know, last week I went to the Hot Rod 65th anniversary. Well, I picked out a car that has significant history.
And you stole it.
And I saw it. No, I'd love to. I tried copying it at one point in time. We'll get into that later. But we're going to talk to, this car has been in a family since the 40s, and we're going to talk to the current owner, who is still in the family as well.
Wow, he's still in the family.
Yeah.
They haven't booted him out yet.
No, not yet. No, he has the longest hair in the family, too.
Now, in a minute, we're going to show you some footage from the rock band Great White, featuring Jack Russell right here. And this is courtesy of John Hale, the Nitro Funny Car driver, who brought them all the way out, flew them in, set up a stage, and Bruce, let's get a listen of Jack Russell coming back to his former glory right here in the pits on a stage next to a funny car at Bakersfield. Hey, don't forget, you can also listen to me every Monday night on the Sam Oxer Jr. radio show, and check that out on your internet.
And coming up on Speed Scene Live TV, a racer has found one of Mickey Thompson's old race cars, and he bought it from his daughter and is now restoring it.
Hey, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to mount your tires on a set of Whole Shot wheels using bead locks. In case you get a flat in the pits, no problem, man. Fix it right there, get back to racing. We got some great interviews with Jeff Duran, Tom the Mongoose McEwen, Phil Burkhart, Chad Head, and more. And we've got some great video from the NHRA March Meet Sportsman Barbecue that the Thomas family and the Cargill family put on in the pits. And we've got more cool stuff like an interview with Jack Russell right here rocking out with the band, and bunch of neat stuff. So, hey, let's come back to the band later. Let's introduce Doug Stokes. He's got to be the best PR man on the planet. I got to tell you, Doug, nobody is better than you at your job, and you are the guy that is now one of the reasons Irwindale has become so popular.
He's handing over money if you didn't see.
Well,
thank you, my friend.
Doug, welcome to the show. You know, Irwindale's back. In fact, Bruce, I think we actually have a interview with Donnie Couch and Ryan Partridge, whose grandfather was one of the gentlemen that actually is responsible for the beginning of NHRA.
Irwindale Speedway, getting ready for the grand opening of the 2013 season. I'm here with Ryan Partridge. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, I don't see any sponsors on the side of the car yet, but you say you might have some plans or some pleas out there?
Yeah, please, more or less. It's real tough. It's a real tight market right now. We're always open for sponsorship. That's a huge part of how we race every week in, week out. I have an excellent car owner right now. He's funding the whole thing right now. I need some sponsorship. We need to fund the rest of the season. We're running for a national title, so there's going to be some great exposure. We have some televised races lined up. But yeah, it starts with sponsorship.
So pretty excited. The track's been closed for a year. Of course, you won here in the trucks. You won here in the Legends cars. So this is a NASCAR late model. So how you feeling about this new year coming up?
I'm feeling pretty good. There's always tough competition. We have some excellent racers out here on the West Coast. Irwindale Speedway, that's what I'm more stoked about. Irwindale Event Center at Irwindale Speedway. We're gonna make some things happen this season. We're gonna have some good racing. Everybody's glad the track is back and ready to go racing.
Hey, and I'm telling you, this guy has driven every class here. Ryan, can you elaborate on that? What was you must have driven everything here, including the tow truck or something, the way you described it.
I think I've driven the tow truck once or twice. Yeah, from legend cars, late models, super late models, trucks, S2s, pony stocks, super stocks. Yeah, we've covered just about all.
Of course, Ryan Partridge, very famous name in NHRA drag racing with his grandfather and his father. So if you hear that name Partridge, you'll know his grandfather was around from the beginning with Wally Park, starting this whole deal, and his father here, track announcer and at the drag strip over here. So it's got to be a heavy heart losing your father and your grandfather, and you come back to the Speedway after a year. So maybe a win or a sponsorship, something turn that all around, right?
Yeah, all that helps, but I mean, it just really makes me not want to leave. I mean, my dad focused most of his life trying to get me where I am, week in, week out. We never stopped racing. Most times since I was 4 years old, every weekend, maybe three classes, 3 different divisions in a weekend, it never stopped. So that's what I plan on doing the rest of my life.
All right, that's Ryan Partridge, and look for him next week. Right now the car's primered, but next week we're told he's going to have some wrap on this car.
2 days, it'll look good.
In 2 days?
2 days, it'll look good.
Okay, what number can they look for?
48 late model.
48 late model, and that's next Saturday night here. Racing starts at 7. Bring your kids out because they get in for $5.
Oh, it'll be a good show.
You sure?
Yeah, we always put on an excellent show.
And you're a champion here, so you know.
Yeah.
Usually we bring good luck to the people we interview. So
it's tough. It's tough to get people out on the West Coast at local short tracks. There's a lot of competing markets, a lot of different stuff to do. You can go to the movies, you can go to the beach, you can go to the snow. You got to come out and watch some of the short track racing out here. It's second to none. People put on a great show.
Okay, well, you go stand on that podium next week, and we'll have you in studio and Speed Scene Live.
That sounds good.
Well, you know, Doug, this track is a phenomenal track, and I've actually driven on the track myself. I've taken the class, and it's a great facility, but my favorite part is to actually sit in the stands when you guys put on these events, and you guys really put on a good show. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with Irwindale right now.
Well, we're back after a year dark of NASCAR. Track actually never closed. We had the drag strip, the driving school, and all that, but the NASCAR part of it dropped off the face of the map for a year, and we're back this Saturday night, in fact, April 6th, with a full card of stock car racing, and as Ryan just said, short track is something else. It's all right there. You don't have to have binoculars. If you're down in the front row seats or anywhere near the first 15 or 20 rows, you feel the air blast when the cars come by, and it's really close stock car racing. The cool thing about Irwindale, too, is the way the track was built with a blended type banking on the track. It's not totally high bank, but it has a blended banking, and we see three-wide racing all the time. It's like it's just second nature to run like that, because there's a lot of places you can go. If you drove a stock car there, you know. But we're back, and we're coming back online on Saturday. We've got 15 nights of NASCAR all the way through to October. I have to look in the schedule. Cheat sheet here. October 19th. So,
Doug, now guys, the racing begins at 7. That's first heats.
Correct.
But qualifying begins at what time? And a lot of people like to watch qualifying.
We're going to open the gates at 5, and qualifying is right then. Actually, don't tell anybody, but people for this Speed Scene Live, we really are going to. The gates really, you can get in about 3:30. We say 5 to get people in there parking and all that stuff, but you can get there a little earlier. The other thing that's really cool, it's very different. It's almost like what drag racing is, and that is where you can go in and see the drivers and talk to them and look at their cars. Before the race at 5:45, all the cars, all the drivers are down on the front straightaway of the track.
Cool.
We invite the fans to come down, see what the banking even feels like to walk on it, and then meet the drivers, look at their cars. You got a little kid with you, or even Alex wants to get in the car, they'll say, come on, you could jump in through the window, see what it looks like, all that sort of thing. It's to me, it's just a great part of the event. It's 5:45 to about 6:30. Then we're going to go into opening ceremonies. 7 o'clock we start racing, and it's nonstop all the way through.
What divisions are going to be running this Saturday?
There's 4 different divisions. Super late models, the big guys like this one right here on the screen. Late models, and super stocks, mini stocks, and at the end of the night, a very special demolition derby.
Oh, no way!
Which I'm sworn to secrecy about what they're going to do, but Tommy Mason has put something together. He won't even tell me what it is. I'm not really sworn to secrecy at all. The other thing is fireworks that night, because it is a grand reopening of the track, so we're going to have a little fireworks show at the end.
Now, Sarah Atkinson, one of the timing and scoring people, she wanted to get behind the wheel of one of those demo cars.
We did an all-lady demo derby, and she was quite good in it. We had a lot of fun with that in 2011.
Yeah, she uses the same tactics she uses on the street.
I think so. Yeah. That's why her father has to keep buying new cars for her. She's always driving up in a new Honda or something.
Well, Doug, we're going to talk some more about the Irwindale track, but right now we're going to go to line 1, and I'd like to welcome Mark Walters. Mark, welcome to the show.
What's happening? What's going on, guys?
And, you know, Mark, and for the people that don't know who you are the gentleman that is one of the guys that goes out to the racetrack, sets up the cameras, streams the live events so that people can hang out in their living room and watch racing all over the world.
That is us. That is us. And we're headed to, matter of fact, this weekend we are sitting in a rest area in Arkansas as I speak, and headed to Tulsa for the inaugural XDRL race, and very excited about that. Got an opportunity to listen to those guys talk tonight on the SHRA radio show earlier, and I think the press releases don't even, give scope to what's going on with that racing group. So, looking forward to that this weekend. It ought to be a big, exciting, great show, and that's just the beginning for this month for us.
Well, but before we get into all that, what is the website that people can go to and watch some of your stuff?
www.motormaniatv.com, or if you just do a search for Motormania TV, it should come up. So,
Motormania TV.
Right there, there's of course the live feed, and we're actually with a new program that starts this weekend with live stream. We've been with Ustream for years, and they had some changes that were not going to work with us, and so we moved to live stream. And one of the cool features that they have, first off, there's no commercials at all. other than the stuff that we put in. And there's no pop-ups, nothing. No commercials, no pop-ups, no ads, no nothing. And that in itself is a great feature, but there's a DVR function. So if you had a friend that just made a great pass and you want to watch that pass again, you can back it up and watch it to your heart's content. Or if there's a wheel stand or whatever, and that's just that's a new feature that they have added to their program over there, and then it's like a live blog that it goes on. I mean, we can add pictures and we can pull clips out, if something really cool happens, or of course if there's an accident, nobody wants to see that happen, but when it does, as long as the people are okay, everybody wants to see what happened.
Well, that's great, and I saw your press release on that, and we're actually looking into it too, because we play 2 different streams. We got our main stream, and then we have the Ustream for backup and mobile devices, and they're really getting crazy with the commercials, and we've been getting a lot of complaints about it. And you know what? We're seriously looking at going to the same deal you're doing, because people hate they drop the commercials right in during the show.
Oh, absolutely. And that was, we were doing the diesel drags down in Gainesville, and super excited to be involved with those guys this year. But we were down there, and it was raining. So, but you have the old, as we call it, the dashboard cam. We put a camera up and talk to people as much as we can when it's raining, just to let them know that we're still there and that we're waiting for a decision. But, and I heard what sounded like a commercial playing, and I looked over at the feed because I monitor it, and there, I'm going, wait a minute, they brought mid-rolls back. So I immediately got on and emailed the guys, and it took them about a day, but they finally shut them off. And then I spent a week talking to them and saying, look, this is not going to work. I said, it could be right at a crucial part of someone, making a pass or winning or a giant wheel stand or what have you. I said, we can't have mid-rolls. They said, well, we can give you control over that. And I said, well, yeah, but I've got to do a commercial every 15 minutes. I said, and it may not necessarily lend depending on who we're streaming, because when we do these big bracket races, I mean, Lucky, I mean, they pump these guys down the racetrack. I mean, the guys are going through the traps and the guys are backing up from the burnout, so there's not a lot of time to do that. And we talked to them, and they just finally said, look, we can't do anything about that. And I said, okay. And I had talked to the folks at Livestream. Jeremy King was the one sales guy that I talked to over there, and we were just convinced. We talked to them, and we were convinced this is what we need to do. And it takes that whole professionalism to the next level. And and one of the other great things about Livestream is that they have phone support 7 days a week. Now, it's not 24/7, but it's like from 9 o'clock in the morning till 8:30 at night. So on Saturday, if you're streaming and something happens, you can call them and say, hey, what's up, guys? If you have one of their premium accounts. So it's a pretty cool deal. It really is. We're pretty excited about it, and we're just moving forward, man. Moving forward.
Well, people can go to MotorManiaTV.com, and you mentioned your next event, which is the XDRL, which is like the ADRL, right? I guess you could say.
Yeah, kind of. We try to stay out of the politics. I mean, it's all fast door car stuff. I mean, now they got Top Dragster, and which we're really excited to see them bring that into the mix, because, and let me tell you something, anything that runs in the low, that's just fast, okay? And that's what you're going to see out of those guys in the top sportsman cars. Those guys will easily be in the mid fours in the 8th mile. So, I'm talking Pro Extreme, basically a blown class, a turbo class, a nitrous class, and then let's see. Of course, they got the Extreme Pro Stock guys, which are the guys from IHR, the old Mountain Motor Pro Stocks, and then the junior dragsters. That's still a big part of the program, and then Top Sportsman, Top Dragster, and the supercars, which of course are the Mustang, the Mustangs and the Camaros and the drag pack cars and all of that. So, and they've actually opened that up, and they've got the Corvettes are involved in that as well now. So, a lot of good racing. Should be very exciting. I've never been to one of those types of races. Oh, and Pro Mod too. They have NHRA legal Pro Mod. I forgot about that.
Nice. And then what's your event after that? Do you know?
Then we have the next one where I'll be at the Texas Motorplex, and that's the National Hot Rod Diesel Association. And they've been trying to get their first race done. We got rained out in Gainesville. We're doing that. And they're also doing a sled pull, which we're also going to stream that. And this is, matter of fact, best we know, that's the first time a sled pull will ever have been streamed live anywhere. Of course, Lucas does some stuff, but we're pretty excited about that. And then the week after that, we're in Holly Springs for a small tire shootout, 2 days, and then we finish up the month at Bristol with the XDRL again. So
nice.
We're out here on the road.
Sounds great. Well, hey, give us a call before you got this event coming up. Give us another call before the next one coming up and keep us updated. Whatever Walmart or truck stop you happen to be in, give us a call and we'd love to hear it. And then you can sort of give us an update on the event you did right before.
Absolutely. Sounds good. I will do that, guys.
Mark, thanks so much for calling. Once again, MotorManiaTV.com. Check it out. You will love it. Mark is doing this longer and better than anybody. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later. Well, yep. Bob, we got to get to your guest, but before we do, let's talk to Jeff Lopez. Jeff Lopez on line 3, Bruce. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Man, we got a packed night tonight, and we're running a little bit behind, but Jeff, you had a great year. You had a stellar year last year, and Bruce is going to bring up some pictures of your Corvette. Now, we've got super gas cars. You don't do the Super Comp deal?
Yeah, I do Super Comp too. I've just, it's weird. When I first started running the HRA stuff, I always did good at Super Comp. Now it's the exact opposite. I do good in Super Gas, and I don't do any good in Super Comp.
So we got nothing to brag about then, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't say. Last year I finished number 10 in the world in Super Comp, but I never won a race. I only went to one final.
What do you? Now hold on a second, Alex. What do you think about that? He's number 10 in the world, and he's disappointed.
And what division are you from?
Division 4.
Division 4.
Okay, so Alex isn't going to go there.
Yeah, staying away.
Well, the number 10's not so bad, but how did you do in the Corvette?
Well, we ended up on top, in that one last year. Ended up being the world champ, so that was cool. That was a cool deal. It wasn't anything that we set out to do. It just, went to a couple races and did good, and just kept going and going and kept doing good. So we ended up chasing it, and like I said, if we wouldn't have chased it in the Corvette, I wouldn't have finished top 10 in Super Comp. But it just, taking both cars to all the tracks and everything, I ended up, like I said, just going a lot of rounds in Super Comp, but I just couldn't get the job done in that. But Super Gas worked its way out, though.
I guess when you're number 1 in the world, I guess number 10 doesn't seem like that big a deal. I guess I don't have your problems, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Don't bet on the spread. That's all.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was pretty neat. It was, you're right. Number 10 in the world is awesome. I shouldn't complain about that. Not that I am.
There was only 9 guys better. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm very happy with the way we finished the year.
Glad we got that turned around.
Now, do you got the same sponsors this year helping you out?
Actually, I've got some more guys on with me this year. I've got K&N Filters jumped on board with us, cool. And they've helped out a ton. They don't just help the racer out, just the race car stuff. They take care of the motorhome, they take care of your personal cars, Wow. They take care of everything. So it's cool being on with them guys. Like I said, they're not just worried about the race car. Let's worry about every single vehicle you've got. So they hooked us up with all that good stuff there, and also Brown and Miller hoses come on. They've actually they're new to NHRA, but they've been in the NASCAR scene for many years, and that is the hose to use in NASCAR. They come on board with NHRA this year. Antron Brown, Top Fuel World Champ, signed on with them. I believe they've also got a couple pro stock cars, including Larry Morgan. They may not be a name to me and you yet, but they will be. They make, I'd say, hands down, the nicest stuff out there. I got my stuff and put it on my cars this year, and it's second to none. And I'm not just saying that. It's top of the line stuff. So it was pretty cool they come on board. And, we own an auto repair business here at home, and we've always dealt with Uniselect Auto Plus. They've always been our parts supplier. Well, they're same deal. They're getting in big with NHRA scene. And, they came on board with us this year also. They actually gave us some funding and even helped our part sales out, lowered a little bit of our rate a little bit. And, you take every little bit you can get. You add all this stuff up, and it helps out a ton.
I thought I saw you in a National Dragster ad for, was it Weldon Pumps?
Yeah, I was with Weldon. They had a national deal last year, and they've actually scaled back a little bit this year. I'm still with them, but we're just not on the same scale that we were before. And they like I said, they just scaled back a little bit this year. So, but no, we're still running their stuff, and they still have good stuff.
Nice. Now, are you going to run the same circuit this year, do the same thing? You did real well. You're going to just repeat?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to just keep doing the NHRA stuff. You get the gold card for winning the world in NHRA. And then even for top 10 finish, you get a silver card. So I can run national events, too. So, you get free entries to these races now.
That's good.
You get free entries to a national event.
That saves you a bunch of bucks.
Oh, yeah, that's $300 a pop for each car. So,
yeah.
Oh, that helps out a ton. But no, we've enjoyed that. And actually, my father-in-law come out and race with us some this year, and he was actually out at the March meet running junior fuel this year.
Really?
Yeah. I was actually walking a while and saw you guys online running y'all's index races. And not to change the subject here, how do y'all do your? I know you do index racing. Are you allowed to run a throttle stop in those classes?
No throttle stops with power. What I do is I run a manually controlled throttle stop, but there's no power to it.
No computers. It's all the old way.
You swing a chick in, you look at the clouds, you say, I think 3 turns will do it.
Okay, well, I remember I was watching. I think you went like a 9. You're in the 960 bracket.
960 class, right?
Yeah, I think I seen you run like a 60 or 61. The one pass I saw you run.
Nice, isn't that cool?
Yeah, you ran 61.
Well, I was number 5 in the world, Jeff. Okay, number 5. Okay,
out of 6 guys.
Hey, cut that out.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching that. And, I like what we do at NHRA racing, but it was cool watching you guys do that because you're side by side the whole way.
Well, what's funny is I just did a whole segment on the Sam Oxer Jr. radio show about junior fuel. I had the guys that won and runnered-up at the March meet on the radio show.
Did you have Richard Brady on there by any chance?
That's a good question.
That was last week. You can't remember back that far.
Well, I'm sure he would have told me by now, but my father-in-law went out there, and he was in the junior fuel final, and he actually broke in the burnout. He couldn't. He was backing up, and he broke. It was just a weird deal. The car died, but once you do a burnout in that class, you can't refire the car.
Yeah, I do know he was from Texas, and I think I didn't speak to the driver. I spoke to the car owner. I want to say his name was Al.
Yeah, Al Mallory.
All right, you got the right guy. See, you did it,
yeah. Al was a great talker, and we also talked to John Hansen. He was the car owner of the other car, and we talked to the owners this time because you drivers. Oh wait, that's me too, and that's you too. The drivers get all the glory, so we brought the car owners on for a change.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You get a little different perspective of things.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jeff, it's been great talking to you. I hate to rush you, but the phones are going nuts. And when you coming out to California to race again?
I don't know. Hopefully I'll come to Pomona this year. I went to Vegas last year. I've never actually been out to Pomona, so
I think you should come out to Pomona.
Yeah.
Come out to Pomona. Our TV show's just like 30 minutes down the freeway, depending on traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
It's 30 minutes here and 3.5 hours back.
It's 10 miles away.
We'll see if we can do that then.
Jeff, thanks so much. Did we get all your sponsors?
We did. And the FTI transmissions and converters. Don't want to forget them. They help us out with all the drivetrains.
There you go.
They got to
be them also.
They got to be good. Hey, thanks a lot, Jeff. Talk to you later.
Lucky. Appreciate it. All right. Bye.
Bob, sorry about that. Let's go and do gas, because you know what? The smell of gas is in the air.
Oh, yeah, it is. I'm Bob Beckett. You've got gas here on Speed Scene Live. And with us is a man that he's got a piece of history that was on display at the 65th Hot Rod Magazine Anniversary Car Show. And Rod Hines, now, you and I met decades ago when you were running a very quick fuel altered.
You know what? I'm having trouble accessing Rod Hines' line, so we're going to let it sit right there. Yeah, look at that.
There.
Well, you know what? Here's what I suggest we do. How about, Rod, we're going to grab you on the phone in just a sec. Can we get a short commercial break out of the way, because we got that coming up.
Sounds great.
All right, and then we'll get Rod on the line, and we'll start Great American Auto Scene. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Hey, keep it right here. Speed Scene Live, stand by. We got so much more. In fact, I have no idea how we're going to fit this whole thing in tonight, but that's the way live television works. We'll be right back right here.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Currie gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Currie expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Currie's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Currie Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Currie rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at CurrieEnterprises.com. Welcome back to more of Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Currie Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, and TheFote.com.
Oh, so fast, so good. That's Speed Scene Live. Hey, I'm Bruce Barker. That guy is Hot Rod Bob Beck. There's Lucky Hudson. There is Alex Rogio, the car girl, and Doug Stokes is in studio tonight too. So it's, man, we got a full house. Plus, it's like 900 lines are busy right now. Hey, Bob, back to you for the Great American Auto Scene.
Okay, we've got Rod back on the line. Hey, are you there now, Rod?
Yes, I am, Bob. How are you?
I am doing great. You're calling from way up there in Tehachapi. That's the part of California with all four seasons, right?
Yeah, and we usually have them in about a day sometimes.
All right, back to what we were starting at. When we first met, you were driving a fuel altered.
Yes, sir.
How quickly were you running then?
Oh, we ended up running as quick as 649 at 226 miles an hour.
And you were one of the last guys to do a fire burnout, if I remember correctly.
Yes, definitely. Did about 25 of those in my career.
Oh, I love those, man. They look great. I hear they're a little dangerous.
Oh, they can be if the fire doesn't light, initially, and the gas starts to spread. I mean, we came close at Palmdale one time to torching everything, but it was all fun.
All right, now, what we're going to talk about, your dad's car. This car he built back in 48 or 49?
Well, he built it between 46 and 48 to the configuration you see now. He came out of the war with a 29 Model A Roadster. And bottom line is somebody offered him $40 for the body alone. At that time, you could get a complete Model A Roadster that ran for $50.
Jeez.
Yeah, so Dad took the whole enchilada and went down the road with it and went to a junkyard and found the T-body that he has put on the 29 chassis, as you well know.
Yeah, and I saw the car, didn't realize it was you that owned it, and I was trying to copy that car when I was building a T-Tub at one point. Then found out it was you.
Interesting. And we're friends already at that time too.
Yeah,
funny, huh?
Yeah, I never even knew you had that car. So your dad built the car in the 40s. That car has stayed in the family. It's never left the family.
Never left the family. I consider the car my older brother.
And
truly, tell
yeah.
everybody that.
And we're showing the cover shot right now of the Hot Rod magazine, March 1950. I've got that copy at home because when I was trying to copy the car, that's when I found the article on it. Now, the car just went through a complete restoration, didn't it?
Well, not just. It was 20 years ago. My brother Marty did it because I was off racing so much. So Marty completely restored it as best he could. Did an excellent job. You know,
Yeah.
it's beautiful as you saw at the Roadster show, or at the car show.
Yeah.
And he rebuilt the V860 flathead, which initially was running the car in 1951, and it had originally come out of Louis Center's midget when he went to Offenhauser engines for his midget. My dad picked up the engine from Louis.
All right, a short time ago we showed a 32.3 window, it looked like, and there are two kids sitting there on the running board.
That's Marty and I.
I love
my
that
brother.
photo.
Oh, that is great.
Now, was that your dad's daily driver or a family member's car?
Well, the 32, Dad went through all kinds of cars besides having the T, but the T truly was the daily driver from about 1948 through 1965, roughly, when he finally decided it was not right for the street anymore, and as far as full time.
Yeah.
And I mean, he raced it and everything. He did everything with a T, but the 32 we had, and eventually sold that. I seem to remember we had that from about 1954 or 5 up through about 1962, and then it got restored by a gentleman after Dad sold it, and he came over to the house with it, and the thing was flat. Just gorgeous car.
All right, now we're showing a picture right now of a very unique engine with 3 carburetors that was in that T at one point in time. And the only one that I've ever seen modify these besides you is Mickey Thompson.
Oh, the Pontiac Tempest.
Yeah.
For sure. No, well, Chuck Sawyer was a big influence on me, too, with the Sawyer Vertes and Toller dragster that used to run double C fuel dragster class, and I've still got 3 Tempest motors out in my garage here to go along with all my Chrysler Hemi stuff and my McGee.
Now, for those guys who don't know, that Pontiac 389 with 4 cylinders cut off the left bank, so you only had the right bank.
Correct, and it was about 200 cubic inches this engine is.
They put it in the Tempest, and it was in the 4-barrel version. It was like 165 horsepower, brake horsepower.
Huh.
Right.
Back in those days. Now, you just said something. McGee engines. Not many people remember those. You have a McGee Hemi.
Well, it's actually a quad cam with a pent roof design. It's sort of a botched hemispherical head design. The pent roof is really what Offenhausers ran, and the McGee quad cam was a direct result of the McGee brothers having run Offenhauser midgets back in Australia.
Now, the McGee motor that you had, was that the one with the removable cylinder heads or the integral head cylinder roll?
It was removable. It had been a completely updated deal. I couldn't get into where I would have to try and maintain an engine from the bottom up. I'm not. I do have machinery, but not that kind.
Not that kind. Yeah, I know. I've been to Chris's shop, and that was a wild motor when you looked at it. It didn't blow head gaskets because it didn't have one. The heads and the cylinders were one piece.
That's right. It was built just like the original the original Offie 4-bangers for sprint cars, midgets, and Indy cars. Had a crankcase with the cylinders bolting to the crankcase, with the head on top of the cylinder block. It was a fascinating motor. I mean, they ran it in a top fuel car for a number of years that way, but finally they decided that to make it more user-friendly and to be able to sell the things, they had to upgrade to removable cylinder head, and that's what they did.
Now, you ran the McGee motor in your altered. Bernstein tried it in top fuel.
Right, and he first tried it in a funny car, and it ended up being that they just didn't have the time because takes development time. My problem with my McGee deal was the fact just running out of money, because I didn't truly. Gene Snow warned me, you're going to run out of money before you really sort the thing out, and he was right. But Bernstein had the money, but they didn't have the time, because every year they were wrapped up in a title chase with NHRA, and they just could not devote enough time to solve or get it tuned up to where it really worked properly. But I think that it truly would have been the engine of the future if NHRA hadn't lowered the boom on them through the politics due to the 426 guys not wanting to lose their business.
Yeah, and that's true. It was also once that motor got sorted, it was just going to blow them away. But the complications of that motor, 4 valves, 4 cams, and everything else, just made that thing just about as bad as the Ford Camera motors. Well,
the thing is, the Ford Camera, though, still had kind of a push rod rocker arm arrangement, and the McGee eliminated the rocker arm and the mini push rod and everything else because the cams ran on top of the valves. The one cam was an intake cam, the other cam was an exhaust cam, and it had a Fiat Peugeot style cam boss on it, or follower, and that's how you ran the thing. It was really simple to work on once Phil and Chris taught us how to handle it, and it didn't have all the monkey motion parts. I mean, if I remember right, the cam only had like 550 lift, which was good solid lift, whereas everybody else has to run 750 to get about the same thing because of all the flex with the push rods and the rockers and everything.
All right, now back to the T, though. You have the car now.
Yes, sir.
You drive it.
Oh, yeah, we're actually going to a car show this weekend up in Ridgecrest with it, which is about a 180-mile round trip.
And you're going to, when I saw the car last, it didn't have a back seat.
It still doesn't have a back seat per se. What it has is a piece of wood back there that if your butt cheeks are brave enough to handle, you can ride on it.
Saw a few splinters on the way, and everything's fine. Now, we're showing a picture of the car. It wasn't always yellow, it appears, in this black and white shot.
Originally, it was kind of an orangey color when Dad first painted it back in the 40s, but then it went to yellow real quick. Like 1948 or 9, it went to the other color. But if you could see that picture a little better, you'd probably it actually did have the suicide front end on it, come to think of it. But when Dad first started to run it, he hadn't put the suicide front end on it yet. He actually ran 98 miles an hour at the lakes without the suicide front end, and then it ended up running 101 once he dropped the nose on it a little bit with the suicide.
Wow. All right, Rod, this is the great car. We're showing the Model A Roadster here now with your dad standing alongside it. Now, you've had possession of the car. Your brother in Colorado has, and you guys used to trade off.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It was the easiest thing to do. Dad gave it to both of us upon my graduation from high school, which I never understood, except I think he knew that I was wanting to go drag racing a whole lot more than just going hot rodding.
Okay.
And so I think he did that knowing that Marty would be a little more responsible at the time because I'd be on the road a lot, which is what happened. I drag raced for 17 years quite heavily. I was sometimes running 3-4 times a month, and so it was a good move on Dad's part, and Marty did an excellent job with the car.
The car looks beautiful, and I do want to thank you for calling in. The car is great. I saw it at the Hot Rod 65th anniversary, and I see you cruising around with it. Thank you very much for calling in, Rod. We appreciate it, and you've got a piece of history there that is going to be great.
Hey, thank you, Bob. I feel that way. I think it's one of the coolest hot rods ever built, and I'll always feel that way about it. Like I said, it's my older brother. Can't lose the family,
Say hello.
Take care.
Yep. Say hello to Debbie for me, and take care now, Rod.
All right, you too, Bob. Say hello to Peggy. Catch you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, it's time for the PRP Seats and Belts Off-Road Report with Bryant Layton. and Nick Tonelli. And Doug, I know we haven't had a chance to talk to you about Irwindale much. You don't have any dirt on the Irwindale track.
No, there's not a lot of that. Although later in the season you might see some, but not for cars.
Oh, so you might see something coming in, and
I can't.
Don't spill any beans now.
Much more than that.
But
who knows,
Bryant?
Who knows?
We're sorry to keep you holding, but welcome back to Speed Scene Live, and we've got Nick waiting here to talk to you as well.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it and bring Nick on with me. If everybody out there in the world of drag racing, if you have not heard of Nick Tonelli and the Beehive Racing Team out of Huntington Beach, California. Nick, welcome to Speed Scene Live. Tell us a little bit about your racing career and where you're at right now.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I'm just a local guy from Huntington, from Orange County, California, and rode dirt bikes my whole life, and around 16 years old, wanted to start racing, and built a Class 11 stock Volkswagen Bug, and raced that for one season, and then built the truck we still race today in the Score Series, and we've won every Baja race over the past 9 years, more than once, and that's my story so far on the truck.
Now it's cruising off-road, right, with it through spectators.
Yeah. Now, Nick, tell us a little bit about what the truck is, because people, out there really, and the drag racing industry, they're getting a little bit more into the off-road, and they're starting to, see things. Now, you call your truck the Trophy Ranger. Tell us a little bit about what horsepower, what motor, what kind of, just basically explain the truck for everybody out there.
It's a 94 Ford Ranger, cut in half, literally. The frame was cut in half, and we built a full tube chassis from the rear of the truck back to get more up travel with the 4-link. Got a big sway bar on it, 75 gallons long races. LS base motor. It's an LS3 with some mild work done to it. Turbo 400 with all the billet parts. Nice torque converter. And then the front end is a twin item suspension, Kingpin setup. We run King shocks on it, King coilovers, inch and 3/4 chassis throughout the whole truck. It's a simple little off-road truck, and we call it the Trophy Ranger because it's the most miniature truck compared to a real full tube chassis trophy truck out there, and it's fast for a small truck.
Now, you've been racing, for a good time now. Like you said, the last 10 years you've been able to win every race there is a Score. Something you did different this year is you and the Eisenhower brothers, I believe, started the. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, a few years ago there was a crash in the desert, and we lost one of our organizations that was local, and all the small budget teams kind of faded away. Some kids went to race a more series, some kids just put their trucks away or sold them, and the small 1400 scene has not been big in a few years. So we put together a series called the Competition 1400 Series, and it was mostly Darren Parsons' idea from Richmond, California, a team driver, and Nick and Chris Eisenhower from San Diego, California. And what we did was organize a series within sanctioned bodies, and it's 5 races. They're the most fun races, the most affordable races, and so pretty much, where the cool guys are going to be at to come race with us. We had one in February at State Line, and we had 64 trucks leave the start line day one, and we paid out first place, $1,600, and first place in trophy truck got $1,000 that weekend. So we got a lot of sponsors coming in for the 1400 class. We got Rated Industry Lights, Fiberworks, Giant Motorsports, Desert Rangers, Pink Designs, Slime Products are worldwide, Dirt Alliance Clothing, Total Chaos Fabrications, Dirt Cinema. Everyone's jumping on board for the publicity that we are giving them. So it's a pretty awesome deal to get people back together and get all these families camping together, racing together, and keeping the good times going with local racing.
Nice. And now you guys are racing this weekend up in Ridgecrest with the series.
Yes, it'll be round 2 for the competition series. We picked the HDRA Ridgecrest race put on by King Shocks. We got Dan Parsons running, Nick Eisenhower, Chris Eisenhower. I'm racing in a trophy truck this weekend and then getting out and back into a 1400 truck. Saving my personal truck for the following weekend at the Lucas Oil Regional BF Classic 6 race out at Lake Elsinore. And that's another series that I run, so we're pretty busy right now.
Nice. Yeah, everybody's getting ready for Ridgecrest. I heard on the last guy we had on the show, he's going for a car show up there. Like you said, Nick, you're going to be out there racing the trophy truck and then jumping in the 1400. I'm going to be out there racing a trophy light for full head racing, which I'm really excited about. It should be a pretty good weekend up at Ridgecrest. And, you know, Nick, you've raced Ridgecrest before, haven't you?
Yes.
Tell them out there a little bit about what the track's like at Ridgecrest.
There's a lot of rocks, some technical spots, a lot of square edges, which means there's like real square bumps where it's real harsh on your suspension and your body in the car. It's fun racing. I raced there back in 06, and then I did a race out there last year in a buggy. And this year, Roger Norman decided to make a whole new course, which I heard is technical from a couple top teams that have been out there pre-running. And it should be a good time, so we're looking forward to it.
Seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Nick, where can everybody find out information about the 1400 competition and racing on you? And tell us a little bit about the Beehive name and what that means also.
Just Facebook, Tonelli Racing, or my name, Nick Tonelli. You can Twitter it, Nick_Tonelli. You can Instagram it, Nick_Tonelli. You can look on DesertRangers.com. My truck flyer is on the front page of DesertRangers.com. There's an off-road thread for desert racing, and we have our own thread for all our own races. Same thing on RaceDesert.com. And it's just the social media is where we promote all this stuff. It's in today's world, that's where it's at, to let everyone know where you're going to be at every weekend, and that's the only way to get it out there now.
Nice. And but tell everybody a little bit about the Beehive name and everything, the team that you got going.
The Beehive name is it comes from the bar, the Beehive Sports Bar, that my aunt Lori owns, and it's a local bar here in Huntington. And a few years ago, she wanted to sponsor my first car, and it's evolved into something pretty crazy. We have over 20 race trucks we help out, a few buggies, and I just built a name for myself with all these race vehicles and have one of the biggest teams out there today running. It's just a big family sport, and I just support the people in it for the right reasons. And we got Darren Parsons, Nick Eisenhower, Jonathan Swift, Sean Backus. We got a ton of kids that are famous, have championships. So it's a place to right now. It's going to be on a team.
Nice. All right, well, listen, thanks for calling in, Nick. We really appreciate it. Any other sponsors you want to think about thanking real quick?
I just want to thank my grandparents, my Aunt Lori, my parents, you for inviting me on the show as always.
No problem.
The Sports Bar. And then I got a list of sponsors here. Ridges Industries, Fiberworks, Giant again, Desert Rangers, Cinema, Total Chaos, Paul at Third Alliance, Desert White Photos, Joe at Slime, Brian at Pink Designs, and I want to thank all my good friends, Sean Backus, Dan McMillan for always being there every weekend for me, and thanks everybody.
Hey Nick, Brian, thanks a lot. Great segment. Good luck out at Ridgecrest.
Thank you guys.
Hey, thank you guys very much. Nick, I'll see you out there this weekend, man. Good luck to you.
All right.
Talk to you guys later. Hey, now, Alex, you know Doug. You've been out to the Irwindale track.
Yeah.
You've raced out there many times, haven't you?
I love Irwindale, and I need to get back. I haven't been in a
we miss you.
while.
We miss
I know.
you.
I love the Thursday night. It's like a party. The drag racing there is so fun.
It really is. It's I remember the old days across the road at Irwindale Raceway, and the drag strips on a summer night when it's a warm night and it's getting warm. Really, all of a sudden, I'm carried back with the hot dogs and the hamburgers and the tire smoke and all that. And the 8th mile is cool. People get a lot of runs in. We get a lot of people who don't have, you don't have to have a top fueler to run there. You can run your stock car.
Exactly.
And have fun.
And what I love is that it helps to take the racing off the streets, which has been a little bit of a problem in that area. And
it really is. And I wish there was more strips. We were talking before we went on, if there were still one out in San Fernando, if there were still one down in Long Beach, if there were still one out at Fontana, they've had some problems there. We would still see our 200, 250 racers on a Thursday night, and it wouldn't be a problem for us at all. all. Some of the people that are far away from the place, they're probably not going to come all the way out there to do a little racing, and that's the problem. You need a lot more drag strips, especially 8th mile.
The drag strip's doing great, and of course Thursday night it's always packed. But you guys were closed for a little while. You've come back. The drag strip's open. The circle track's open. And, it's a great facility, and people need to come out and experience the new reopened Irwindale.
We hope they do. It's if they've watched any stock car racing on television, maybe they see the big tracks and all that. This is where it all gets started, and this is where everything is all down right in front of you. And a half-mile track like this, probably only going 125 miles an hour, not 200 miles an hour. But boy, it's 120 down the straights and about 95 through the turns. And everybody, you can't get away from the other guys. You are going to be there, a fist fight in a phone booth all the time on a half mile. It's where the real driving skills come in. On this track, of course, so many young drivers have cut their teeth and have gone on from here, both in stock cars and midgets and all kinds of things. So that's what we're here for. We want to make sure people come out and see live NASCAR racing.
Hang on a second, and let's have Donnie Couch tell us about what's coming up this weekend.
Couch, there he is.
Yeah, you got Donnie to be quiet.
And after a year of being off, the NASCAR late models are back on the track, prepping for this weekend, Saturday, April 6th, the first race of the year. There's 14 scheduled events this summer. Hey, the gates are going to open at 5. The racing starts at 7. What a bargain, too. It's only $15 to get in the gate, $5 for kids 6 to 12 years old, and under 5 and under, they're free. So come on down, support this local speedway.
This is a great facility, Doug, and it's right next to the freeway. It's close to everybody, and it's a great time that you can come out with your family. And the food's good, the parking's easy. It's all good. It's a win-win deal.
Nice, clean restrooms. I think everybody knows that. We pride ourselves on that. And as I say, please, if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, try to get there by 5:45 and get down on the track, see what it looks like right down the main straightaway of the track. You can meet the drivers. You can see what the cars look like up close. And it just, to me, you get a feel for it. Some of the drivers are young kids like this one next to me. Some of them are old men like me.
Alex, once they get, did he just call you a young kid?
Yeah, I get that a little bit.
Wonderful young lady. But seriously, you put that helmet on, you don't know what that are from Mars. If you come down and you meet one of them and say that the guy in the blue car, he was nice to me. The guy in that 48 car, that 12 car, you can't do that with 85,000 people at a big track.
And Doug, the driving school there, I took the driving school one time.
I did too.
You did too.
Yep.
And it was so exciting to get behind the wheel of one of those cars, and that track is so fast. It's amazing.
There it is. It's called the LA Racing Experience, and I got to tell you, it's a tremendous experience. I've seen so many people get out of a car over every week. We put through a couple hundred people a week, and they get out of the car, and all of a sudden they know the secret handshake.
Yeah.
They know what they go. They did 20 laps. Their arms are pumped. They're sweating.
And this is
on a half mile.
And they're in the car driving. There's no speed limiter. There's no pace car slowing you down. Right. You get in the car, you drive. I took both my sons through it, and my younger one, we couldn't catch him. The older one, I got him, no problem. But the younger one,
and you got a real spotter in your ear telling you what to do, just like the real thing. And I've got to tell you, it was pretty cool. The other day, Boris Said came by with some folks from San Diego, with a television crew from San Diego. He had come to be there like their expert guy about stock cars. We put him into a suit and shoved him in the window of a car and set him out on the half mile. Never been to Irwindale. He was running right along. Very conservative, but he got the perfect line within about 2 laps. Excuse me. And it was just beautiful. He was very, very pleased to have been here. He's seen a lot of the all-star races and that sort of stuff. But it was great to have a real, a great driver like Boris out here. Of course, Tony Stewart, all these guys have raced at this track at one time or another, whether it's in sprint cars or stock cars or midgets.
I remember watching Jesse James do the what's that Circle X, that X series?
Oh
yeah, watching him do that
figure eight
in an El Camino.
Yeah,
and wow, that's wild stuff. I'll tell you.
Well, they just got married, by the way. Congratulations.
No,
Jesse.
you're kidding.
Yeah.
Married.
Yeah, she might want him to go out there more often and run that figure eight.
Yeah.
Maybe with a helmet.
Maybe.
Well, Doug, so like Donnie Couch said, this weekend you got your first big event, right?
Come and see us.
What's the website people can go to for information?
It's a long one. Keep dialing. www.irwindaleeventcenter.com.
Okay, and
5 E's.
People can
Count
get in there. And Alex, of course, you've got a blog on. Tell us a little bit about your blog.
Yeah, I've got AlexTheCarGirl.com is where I blog about all my events and my car care products company called Easy Elegance. Information about that is on there. Nice, Bruce.
Thank you.
I also want to say go check out MoparMax.com. We've got a new issue coming out this month. It talks about the whole tour of Arrington Performance in Virginia, which is a really, really cool thing to see. I mean, the editor wrote an excellent article, I have to say. So check that out.
Nice. And of course, One and Done is the show that's filmed at Irwindale,
and
they will be premiering this Thursday night.
That's correct.
Will be their first time
Day after tomorrow,
on MAV TV. So
by the way, won't you be on one of the episodes?
I will be on one. Not for a while, probably, because it takes a while. But that's right. I was lucky enough to get the Curry Rear Ends Hedman Nova on One and Done. And by the way, Doug, I got to tell you, we were at the Bug Fest.
What fun that is!
And had a great time. And I noticed you were working the staging lanes. You were like,
I was saying, go and get up there. Let's go. Yeah, I was.
So
trying to do a little bit of everything.
A newfound respect for the man that does everything. One of these days I'm going to be there, and he's going to be washing the windows in the shower.
You got to get out to Moon Eye's Christmas party.
Oh yeah, Moon Eye's
Christmas party. That is on the moon, by the way, the dark side.
Yeah, that'll be December 7th. An interesting day.
Oh, indeed. I didn't.
Well, Doug, thanks so much for being on Speed Scene Live.
Thank you for having me. My goodness.
And we kind of ran out of time. We had a little bit of too many callers, I think, but it was great to have you here. Alex, great to have you back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
Bob, it's just okay having you back.
Oh man, this show is brutal.
I'm so
He only got his name on his shirt too.
Well, that's so I remember who I am in case I forget.
I got you.
At my age, those things happen.
That's when I go, Bob, who are you? And he goes,
this side, yeah.
Oh, this side. I'm M&H Tires.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming up next week, and we'll see you then.
All right, here's what happens now. You know the drill. We've got the encore presentation of the show coming up next. Thanks so much for joining us for the live portion of tonight's webcast, tonight's broadcast. Hey, we'll be back next week for more right here.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, and TheFote.com.